Okay, I want to go on a quick diatribe. 2-Minute Tuesday, put a timer on the screen. Let's ramble about a sponsorship request I got and we'll turn down. Let's go. Okay, so the request that I got was from a company, I'm not going to say their name, that sells online emergency kits of antibiotics. Like 8 different antibiotics, I think it was. And they reached out to me, I'm sure because of how popular my first aid kit videos are, and offered me a deal where I could talk about them in videos and I could get a percentage of sales. As opposed to a lump sum payout. And so I didn't respond to them because I didn't want to get into it, but I would have responded in the negative. And here is why. What they told me I should do was really go after the prepper market. And I went and I looked at their website and I looked at their advertising, and all of it is what I call fear-based selling. So horrible things could happen and you wouldn't be able to get your antibiotics, and then you would die, and all of the different ways that could happen. And there are 2 problems with that for me personally. The first is I'm not a huge fan of antibiotics. I don't really use them, or I use them sparingly. I think I've taken an antibiotic once in the last 20 years, meaning 1 course of antibiotics. And part of the reason for that is the more you use certain antibiotics, the more those antibiotics, your body gets attuned to them and they don't work as well. And I feel like at some point I'm gonna need them, and I want them to work as well as they can. And that's a simplistic view of antibiotics, but it's accurate in some sense. The other part of this, which to me was really more troubling, was the fear-based selling, which is something that I really don't believe in. A lot of first aid kit companies do this. I will never try and sell you something using fear as the motive. I just think that that's wrong. I don't like anything that is survival based. If you're active in the outdoors and you have a gear set for doing things in the outdoors, you're pretty well set up for when something bad, if like the power went out for a week at home, we would be fine because I've got the gear to deal with that, both in part because of the van and because of paddling. Or I could make my wife's morning coffee using a camp stove. I could cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner using a camp stove in my kitchen at home. I would open a window and all that stuff. But and so if you're active in the outdoors, I don't like the concept of selling you things in terms of it being a survival item or an item you need when the world turns to poo. That's just not how I roll. And I get a lot of advertising pushed to me using that method, and it's really troubling to me. So I will never do that. So I did a video a few weeks ago about sponsorships. I would love some sponsorships, but not from a company like that. So you won't be seeing that from me. This was a little bit of a diatribe. I apologize, but it's something I wanted to sort of spell out to my viewers. Yes, you should carry a first aid kit, but you probably don't need antibiotics unless you're taking them for something else, right? If you get an injury in the backcountry that's bad enough that we're worried about infection, you should leave the backcountry. That would be the only situation where I would think about antibiotics. Like, they weren't selling other meds, it was just antibiotics. Okay, end of diatribe. Thanks for listening. I'll see you outside.